Welcome to Simply Liminal. My name is Stacy. This is my daily 2-card reading for Thursday, March 7th, 2024. This week we are working with the Urban Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinane. This was the first deck that I used when I started these readings back in December. And so it kind of feels like a cycle of a completion of a sort, which was interesting. I haven't been keeping track of the weeks. I just know that this was my first deck. I didn't work with it for my Yule winter solstice reading, but I worked with this deck that very same week. And so I counted out how many weeks it's been that I've been doing these readings, and this is my 12th full week with this deck, which is interesting because I do think of 12 as a number that is associated with cycles and completion of cycles. For instance, our yearly calendar that most of our world works with, or the zodiac cycle, which will soon be coming to an end. We're in Pisces season right now, but we're about a week and a half away from Aries season starting, from the spring equinox, when that whole zodiac season starts again. And I still recognize that we're in the season of shadow work, I wanted to use this deck one more time, or I kind of thought I would. I guess I wasn't sure, but the last several days I've been seeing crows, and where I'm from, we don't have a lot of crows. We don't see them a ton. Where MJ Cullinane is at, she lives in Seattle, and there are crows all over out there. When I go out there, I'm almost overwhelmed by the amount of crows that I see. But here we don't see them a ton. And 2 days ago I seen one. Yesterday I seen two, which is unusual. And so today I'm like, maybe I'll see 3, but today I seen none, which is fine. We have had a storm system come in. It's gotten bitterly cold where I'm at. And so those crows are probably wisely hunkered down and not out in this nasty weather that we're experiencing. So anyway, I'm going to do my 2-card oracle reading just like I have for these daily readings, where I look at the energy that's coming at us, and which is, you know, the energy from the universe, from the world around us, from maybe even our work environment, our family environment, our environment that we're in. And then our focus is the intention, the effort, or the message, or the effort or response that we put into the energy of the day. So I do want to mention, as always, that I believe that liminal spaces are a beautiful space where we can be open to messages. And this deck is special to me because it was the first deck. Wow, a terrible shuffle there. I'm too busy talking. The first deck that I used when I decided to go ahead and start these oracle readings. And I think crows are one of the most liminal birds around. Like, when I see them, I'm always like, oh, pay attention. There's a message for us here. And I believe that oracle cards and tarot cards, but oracle cards especially, because that's what I've been focusing on so far, though we will throw some tarot decks into this mix, I believe, at some point, are a very simple way for us to get those messages from the divine universe, from our divine creator, from Mother Earth, from our inner soul, our inner self. So let's go ahead and get started with today's reading. So let us look at the energy for this day. Okay, here is our energy card, and here is our focus. All right, so it's been a while since I worked with this deck, and I have worked on my lighting somewhat, so hopefully it will be a little bit easier for us to see what these cards have in store for us. I will say that about this deck. I love this deck by MJ Cullinane, and I have several of her tarot decks. She also did an expansion deck, or expansion cards for this deck. I'm just using the main deck right at this time. But I think she has beautiful, beautiful messages. And I'm just going to throw out that she has her own YouTube channel. And if you want to check out some readings, check her out, because she knows her decks and she has beautiful messages. So let's go ahead and look at what our energy is for today. Exposed. All right, let me lift this. These are kind of shiny, but hopefully you'll be able to kind of get a look at what these are. So exposed. Here we have one crow just kind of hanging out, and there is a hawk above him, and so he's kind of alone. He's exposed. He's out there, but it looks like there's a bunch of other crows in the background, but this bird is definitely coming down at him. So the energy of today could be kind of raw. It could be uncomfortable for us. We're feeling exposed. We know we're exposed, and really we don't like to feel that way, and so that is an uncomfortable feeling. I'm just going to go out there and say that I kind of always feel like the energy of March is very interesting and a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not sure why it is, and maybe in a sense we are exposed, but it's definitely a churning sort of energy the month of March. I don't know if it's because we're Pisces in all that water and we're moving into Aries season, which is fire and go get 'em. There's also the equinox that is coming, but everything just seems really like, ooh, in the way that I don't feel at any other time of the year. Not any of the major quarters of the year, you know, the solstices, or the fall equinox. I don't get this feeling of discomfort and energy and churning that I do in the month of March. Anyway, so our energy today is exposed. Now let's see what MJ says about this card. I'm going to read it all. It says, alone and unprotected, the fledgling is vulnerable to attack. Exposed may indicate being thrust into the spotlight and not in a good way. As a result, you may feel helpless and fear possible criticism. Exposed may also point to an open and free opportunity for taking, as there will not be much in the way of opposition. So it's interesting, that last little line there, because I get this kind of idea of discomfort, and you're feeling, oh, like everybody's watching me, or I'm out where I'm not protected. But the positive message here is it may point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will not be much in the way of opposition. So it's interesting. I want us to keep both of those things in mind. All right, let's look at our focus for the day. I think that might help direct what we feel about how we're going to react to this energy of exposure. So we have routine. So this is kind of interesting. Routine to me feels comfortable, where exposure feels uncomfortable. So it's almost like the day is giving us a tool to balance the uncomfortable exposure energy that we're having, which I love. I love it when a tool helps us overcome something that makes us feel uncomfortable. So the card here is routine, and it shows us a couple things. We have the crows flying over the city. We're seeing them flying to the city. We're seeing them fly to the forest. I'm not holding that very good. I apologize. So here they are in the forest flying towards the city or the town. Here they are in the town flying towards a forest. And there is something very comfortable in a routine. It's normal. We know what we're doing, and it can help us settle uneasy energy like exposure. So let's take a look at what she has to say. But I like that we're kind of being given a tool here in the day to help us kind of deal with maybe our uncomfortable feeling of exposure. So routine. Let me get to where she has written that in the book. I wonder about my skills with the alphabet here. Sorry. It says, every morning I watch the crows return to my neighborhood, and every evening I see them as they depart. It's like clockwork. The crows have a routine that they have stuck with for as long as I can remember. I moved to Seattle in 1998 and noticed them back then. Routine speaks to the things we do out of habit because it is part of who we are, what is expected of us. In many ways, it is routine that creates stability. However, it can also lead to stagnation or getting into a rut. Ask yourself, are you in a routine that makes a foundation for success, or are you merely going through the motions because you don't know what else to do? So this is a beautiful, beautiful point. And I'm going to go back to what she says, this last line that I kind of focused on earlier. We have the energy of exposure coming to us that feels uncomfortable, and it makes us want to protect ourselves. And we can protect ourselves in routineness. But this question here is routine something that we do because we just do it? And maybe in a way it protects us from growth and doing new things or learning new things or having new experiences. And the last line back in exposure, and I want to read this again because I think this is important, because I think we have two ways that we can face this day. We can feel exposed and we can take comfort in our routines, or we can look at our routine and know that maybe it's time to break free from it. And at that time, we can allow ourselves to focus on that energy of exposure. And the last line she says is, expose may also point to an open and free opportunity for the taking, as there will be not much in the way of opposition. So maybe this day is a chance for us to break out of our routine and embrace the exposure of something new. So I want you to keep that in mind while you think about this day. This is a pretty good reading. I feel happy to be working with this deck again. It's so lovely. I've had it for quite a long time, and I always, I just feel kind of grounded in it. So I hope that you will feel that as well. So I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope you connected with it in some way. I would love to hear any comments you have about this deck or any of MJ Cullinane's other decks. She has several of them, and they're lovely. She's got a new Oracle deck coming out that I'm eagerly awaiting. She has several tarot decks, which I have a couple of them. I don't have all of her decks, but anyway, I would love to hear, like I said, what you feel about this reading or any comments you have on it. Please please subscribe to the channel to help this channel grow. Please share these videos also to help this channel grow. All of these things can help me spread these messages. And I think that we're in a time in the world where we need to be open to messages, because things are changing around us so fast we can't even maybe feel like we're getting our footing correctly underneath us, you know, just to kind of balance things out. But I am so grateful to you for coming and visiting my channel today, Simply Liminal. My name is Stacy. Have a good day.